Breaking news, that's right, coming out of Ewood Park, it looks like it's about to be 100% confirmed, if not confirmed already. Alex Crook, a journalist for TalkSport and others, dropping the latest tweet of the John Eustace saga that's, of course, blown up over the past few days. It's his latest tweet coming at you right here, right now, hot off the bloody press. Is this Alex Cook just moments ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, Eustace to DCFC is imminent, decided to leave Rovers as he did not feel properly supported by the club, same as Thomason a year ago. Of course, more on that, on those breaking developments at talksport.com. I'm sure the rest of the journalists will follow. So what does that mean for Blackburn Rovers? What does that mean for John Eustace? Well, we can look at it two ways. We could look at it one way being disgruntled, disappointed, upset, angry at the board, and where we find ourselves in, and of course how this fiasco has become the case. Of course, for not one but not two, but probably three managers in succession. We can look at it like that. Or we can look at it as a chance to reignite our season, which, believe it or not, form book-wise, of course, John Eustace ticks a lot of the boxes. Cheap, good results, good on paper, but the form heading into this is pretty grim stuff. That's right. What am I talking about? Well, I'll hopefully show you in a second. That's right. Yeah, we'll hop on over back to my tweet, which was this. I did say something earlier in the day. Every cloud does have a silver lining. If we can I zoom in on this stuff here? This was it. This is the last 11 games for Blackburn Rovers. Picking up just 11 points out of the possible 33. It is relegation form. It's on par with Plymouth. It's a little bit better than Luton, and of course tremendously better than Derby, but it is relegation form, and currently, if that was to continue, especially in the next few games, then we won't be in this top six discussion. We'll be probably in a relegation discussion. So yes, it's frustrating that we're losing a good, affordable, solid manager at championship level to what can be considered as possibly an inferior club. Well, they're in an inferior position. Of course, the future or the blueprint might be better for Derby County because they've got owners that give a shit. But this season isn't over, and it's far from over, and there's still got a good chance for Rovers to do the unthinkable and get in the top six. So this does give opportunity knocks for another coach to come in, whether their stock is on decline or needs a bit of a boost, a chance to possibly get a club, specifically Blackburn Rovers, into the playoffs at the end of the season. And who knows what happens after that. So still, yes, the taste is nasty. Not very happy about it or on how it's panned out. But it does get me a little bit intrigued and excited for what will hopefully pan out quickly the next week or so to see who will be coming in and taking over at Blackburn Rovers. This will, of course, hopefully, Blackburn Rovers, the board, the hierarchy, etc., hopefully we're aware of this situation. Hopefully we're aware that this was panning out and now they may have already started to headhunt a replacement. And hopefully they're making the right calls. And hopefully we'll get an insight as to who potential candidates will be. Again, we haven't seen anything 100% official out there from either. They're all starting to jump on the case right here, right now. Again, back over to Twitter. The EFL Zone, followed by A7000 folks, now jumping on it as well. So it looks like the writing is on the wall, and Derby County have got themselves a great coach, and yes, for Derby County this is cheap and cheerful, and I'm sure they're not going to pay too much for John Eustace on a salary basis. They might have to pay a little bit of a release clause, but it's a win-win for Derby. They're getting a man that was, of course, assistant with Steve McLaren back in the day, a former player, a guy whose family's local, who'll be committed to the project, and we'll get them out of this relegation discussion quick time, and of course, and drag them up towards mid-table this season without any further ado. But I don't think if John Eustace thinks this is going to be the start of a blossoming managerial partnership with Derby County, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think there is a limit to John Eustace. I might be saying this now, of course, with a bit of envy, perhaps, but there was always going to be a capacity with John Eustace. We were very fortunate to be in the top 6. But the cracks were there. The form was terrible, and it didn't seem to be any way of shaking that form at the moment. Of course, he did change the way we played football. We were a complete disaster class last season. He come in here and built from the back, built a solid foundation, which of course saved us from relegation and provided a platform to move forward. I don't think. John Eustace, don't get me wrong, he's a great championship manager, but I think if Rovers were to get to, if John Eustace had stayed at Blackburn Rovers, put it this way, we wouldn't be in the top 6. We wouldn't. This does give us an opportunity to change that roadmap now for Blackburn Rovers, because new set of eyes, new game plan, etc., all kicking off. Hopefully, a different course of action for Blackburn Rovers. And again, I have no idea who will be taking over at Blackburn Rovers, but there are some exciting options out there. But it just depends on what flavour Blackburn Rovers go. Do they go foreign? Do they go for a tried and trusted championship manager? Do they go cheap? Do they go for a manager that's currently in position? Who knows? That's, of course, stuff to be looking forward to down the road here. But it does look like John Eustace is going to Derby County. It looks like a 3-year deal to be announced later this evening, so stand by for that. Of course, over the social platforms, of course. And we're hoping to do a bit of a emergency podcast tonight, recording that later on, and hopefully get that out for you later this evening as well. Also, possibly doing a breaking news, a Twitter space, which I've never done before, and hopefully we'll see, get some reaction. With that. So, it looks like it's a done and dusted deal. Who, of course, will come over and take over the reins for this Wednesday? Will it be Damian Johnson? Will Rovers act fast like they did with the actual hiring of John Eustace? That's, of course, to be decided. But until then, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Subscribe, smash the like. See you later. I'm done.